Hello, everybody, and of course, welcome back to another episode of X Talking Ish with your boy X.
And this,
You already know what to do. If you are on Facebook, please make sure you go ahead and hit that like. If you are on our Facebook page, please go ahead and hit that like button so you can, of course, be notified for shows like this one on your Facebook page, and as well do the same on YouTube. If you are on YouTube, go ahead and hit that red notification button, and as well hit that bell so you can be notified for shows like this one in the future.
ding.
Thank you, Ish. And as well, if you are
Mm-hmm.
on Twitter, you already know what to do. Make sure you go ahead and check us out on Periscope at X Talking Ish. And as well, go ahead and check us out on my personal page at X underscore Williams 81. I went ahead and retweeted that. So no excuses not to check it out. Go ahead and
None.
do what y'all need to do over there. Well, you know why y'all are here. It is week 2 already. Like I'd say every season ish. It's a long, quick season. It's a long season, but it goes by very quick. We're already, of course, 2 weeks in. It feels as though that,
Man, the hate coming in
yes, yes,
already,
we,
man.
uh,
Woo
it's
wee,
fine. It's fine.
man.
We'll address the elephant in the room, literally the elephant in the room, real quickly. But other than that, week 2, um, I think we are already jumping the gun ish on certain things in the NFL. I saw it already after week 1. It's continuing after week 2. Teams that are 2-0, teams that are 0-2, teams that might are 1-1 that should be either 2-0 or 0-2. But I see a lot of overreaction Tuesday going on after everything. The only thing that should not be overreacting is the performance that the Tennessee Titans put up against the Buffalo Bills. That was pretty pathetic and pretty pitiful. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and address the elephant in the room. And of course, that was the Monday Night Football doubleheader we had in week 2 with the Tennessee Titans versus Buffalo Bills starting it off, and the Vikings with the Eagles finishing off. And we'll start it off, of course, with Tennessee Titans barely showing up. It seems as though they left their football game in Nashville. Um, I told people, look, hey, I told people on the show. I also told people in real life. I was having a conversation with my uncle. He said, "Hey, if you were a betting guy, go ahead and take the points." I said, "Don't do that. Buffalo Bills are going to open up a can of whoop ass, sort of say, on the Tennessee Titans." And this game reminded me more of when the Bills played the Miami Dolphins like they did last season, where it seemed as though they took it very personally and made sure that the Miami Dolphins, now the Tennessee Titans, of course, of this year, make sure they remember who they are, which is the Buffalo Bills, and could be the potential Super Bowl winners the way they've been playing the last couple of weeks so far. So, with that being said, of course, I'm going to open it up and start it off. Um, but I want Ish, of course, to say what he needs to say. I know he's going to throw in a lot of hate. I'm perfectly okay with that. And then I'll finish it off, and then we'll go ahead and move on. But as y'all know, people that tune in all the time, we keep it real around here. We don't sugarcoat anything, especially when it comes to our teams. And we'll give you firsthand. Hey, I'll give you firsthand tell on how I feel about what's going on with Tennessee Titans. Of course, as you can see, Chelsea Bender, she says your team is trash, and she says
Ooh,
I seen it.
ooh,
It's crazy to have.
Chelsea,
Hey, it's crazy to
Chelsea, don't.
be getting talked to about when you're a Cowboys fan. You know, when you play better without the quarterback that you pay millions of dollars to play. But hey, that's here nor there. We'll see what
Hey, a win's
happens
a
with the
win.
Cowboys. Hey, I ain't taking it. I ain't saying that's not. I'm just be interesting to see what happens with the Cowboys moving forward with that. But anyways, Ish, let's go ahead and talk about this game very shortly, and we'll go ahead and move on from this.
Man, all I can say is I was surprised. I was really surprised. Tennessee has historically played Buffalo really well, and even last year, you got to look at it and say that Tennessee, when they play Buffalo, it was always a pretty good game. So I was expecting that. I was expecting a good game. I still thought Buffalo was going to win, but I was expecting a good game nonetheless. And this was everything opposite of that. This was a straight beat down, butt whipping. I don't know what else do we want to call it, because maybe it was embarrassing.
Good old fashioned ass whooping.
Maybe it was embarrassing. I mean, it was just all around just bad. Let me just read this stat line off for you real quick. 13 attempts, 25 yards. That don't sound like
Derrick Henry's rushing.
That don't sound like the king to me.
Yeah.
That don't sound like the king to me. That sound like his jester. So Buffalo's defense went out there and they beat up on the king and turn that man into a joke. Then Fracture Wall. Now let me just start by saying I'm gonna have to apologize to you, because we did tell you that there was no way you were gonna see Malik Willis until Ryan Tannehill got hurt. And
I mean, if we're being technical though, and I'm happy you brought that up, because I was gonna get on that when it was my spill. But for being technical, the game was over with. Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Yes, of course, we're gonna see Malik Willis in garbage time. But what Fracture Wanda is talking about, we are all in agreement, is Malik Willis starting a game and being able to be the quarterback moving forward. Not coming in a blowout game where he's not going to take the starting helm from Ryan Tannehill in game 3.
Well, and I was just about to get to that, because Malik Willis did come in, and I will just say right now, he came in and he immediately shut down all those conversations of him possibly taking Ryan Tannehill's spot, because that shit was ugly. He came in there, and I mean, I don't know if they was hoping he was gonna cause a spark, or he was gonna, maybe just, show a little something else. Well, he showed something, but it wasn't something good, because that man came in there, and I was like, yeah, I hope everybody that's been crying for him to start games is watching this right now, because that is a no. No, thank you. Please let that man sit there and learn some more, because he is not ready for this, okay? He is not ready for this. It was garbage time, and he still looked like garbage, okay? In garbage time. So we're definitely going to have to stick with Tannehill here. All right, we're going to have to figure something out. I don't know what we're going to figure out. We're going to have to figure something out. But I will say this. Hey, you're in the AFC South. That is the one, bright spot of this whole thing. The last 0-2 team to make it to the playoffs was 3 years ago. But guess what? One of those teams, it was two teams, and one of those teams was from the AFC South. So, hey, it can definitely happen in the AFC South. You only got one team. Only one of the teams has won in that division so far, and it's the Jacksonville Jaguars of all teams. I mean, the London Jaguars. Yes, my team, the London Jaguars. They are leading
your team is
South right now. They're my team. I own them. Since the Queen passed away, she did passed them on to me as part of her will. She said that I should take over ownership. So I'm owning the team now. So the London.
I could have sworn it was Shad Khan that owned the team, but now it's the Queen. Oh, okay, interesting.
I think that Shad guy's. I think he might be a little mistaken, but I mean that's neither here or there. We can talk about that in court if he wants to, but I'm pretty sure the Queen owns the London Jaguars, and she told them that I am now taking over ownership. However, yeah, the London Jaguars lead the AFC South, and I'm perplexed. I'm worried about the Indianapolis Colts because this week they looked terrible. Houston had a game to win, and I would like to talk about that Houston game.
Oh, don't worry, we're gonna talk about a lot of these games.
That was an interesting situation there, but yeah, with Tennessee, they need to fix it, turn it around fast. My concern of all things is the King, and that's 2 games now where he has been kind of held in check. Is age starting to get to him? What do you think, X?
So I guess that's a toss up to me to finish out this segment, and we'll go ahead and move
it over
on.
there.
Shout out to Fracture Wanda. He said Jags win the division with 10 wins. He also says, welcome to the AFC South where anyone can win. Yeah, I mean, we're pretty much there right now after week 2 where, hey, it's a toss up right now. Technically, the Jags are the division winners of the AFC South. So hey, if the playoffs started right now, the Jacksonville Jaguars will win that division. Fracture One also says the King is starting to look like the Prince. One thing I love about you and Fracture Walnut Ish and anybody else who want to make these cute little ass royal little metaphors and similes, all these little cute crap y'all here doing. Y'all need to stop, okay?
The jester.
It's old.
The King's jester.
Stop it. First of all,
he's no longer the king. He's the King's jester.
Second, I will say this, and I said this last year when it happened, or this past year when it happened in y'all season. When you trade away a generational talent like AJ Brown, your offense does not.
Ooh, and how is he looking?
It's not being able to be shielded and protected from the things that you can't do. So the only reason why the Tennessee Titans last year and the years before were able to even push the ball downfield was because of AJ Brown. It was not because of Derrick Henry. It was not because of the arm of Ryan Tannehill. Let's all get this right, okay? Let's not act like Ryan Tannehill, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Herbert, Aaron Rodgers, blah, blah, blah. The point is he's not any of those guys, okay? He's middle of the pack quarterback. Not saying he's bad. Not saying he's horrible.
He's decent. He's a good.
He'll get you some wins in the regular season. He'll get some wins in the playoffs. But he's showing us already that he's a guy that probably can't get you to the promised land. And that's okay. That doesn't make him a bad person. It just doesn't make him a good enough quarterback to get you where you need to be. So this upcoming season, the Titans are going to have to make a decision regarding his salary when it comes to letting him go, saving a lot of money against the cap, and giving the reins to Malik Willis moving forward. Or you go ahead and just ride this Tannehill wave out and try to get better amongst the offense, which it seems as though that anytime you try to get better, you take one step forward and two steps back. And I don't know how long it will take for the Titans to actually get back to where they were just 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I felt like they hit their peak. After that, they've been declining, and this season is not going to be a good season for them. If they are over 500, it'll be 9-8. I'm worried about the division, honestly. I don't think they win the division now, just the way that they're looking. They can look completely different in 8 weeks. We've seen it. We see it every year. First half doesn't mean what you're going to look like in the second half of the season. So the Tennessee Titans have plenty of time. But I will say when it comes to the time that they have as a championship caliber team, that's over with. Tannehill's not that guy. Derrick Henry is too old to get you where you need to be, and he's not as explosive as he used to be. And there is no wide receiver threat. Robert Woods is a number 2 for a reason. We have no number 1. The defense is good, but you can't rely on the defense to be out there for 45 minutes of the game and expect to win games. So at the moment, the Tennessee Titans are going to have to do a lot of self-evaluation and figure out what is going to need to happen to ride this ship. Fracture want to ask, don't bash me, but is Mike in the hot seat, or should I say the seat is warming up? And
I don't think so.
And I'm just going to piggyback on what Ish is saying. No, not just because he won the coach of the year last season, mainly because if somebody's going to go, it's going to be offensive coordinator before it's Mike Vrabel.
Well, not only that, I think that you got to look at the situation, right? I think in organizations, they don't just let people go because of
one bad season.
Yeah, of bad seasons. They normally let people go because of, a bad season coupled with the situation, right? So, like, if we've backed you in the draft, if we've backed you in free agency, we've kind of given you the pieces that fit your scheme. We've kind of given you all the things you need to be successful, and then the team is not performing, then we may look at your seat getting warm, getting rid of you. I think everyone is aware that Tennessee has kind of hit this patch where they're starting to enter this transition of Derrick Henry's getting a little bit older. They lost AJ Brown. They're trying to still figure out, what is this offense's identity. Early in the season, I think we all knew they were going to try to figure that out without an AJ Brown, right? So I don't think that his seat is warming up. And I also think you got to look at their schedule this year. They have a really tough patch in the middle of the season where they play Kansas City on the road, Denver at home, Green Bay on the road, Cincinnati at home. But then if you look at their last 5 games of the season, this team could definitely put themselves in position, depending on how they play the first couple of games after these first 2. So they got the Raiders, the Colts, the Commanders. These next 3 games are going to be really important because those last 5 games set them up to potentially sneak in to the playoffs with a wild card or even winning the AFC South. They play Jacksonville at home, the Chargers on the road. They play Houston at home, the Cowboys at home, and Jacksonville on the road. So you got Jacksonville twice, which, I mean, before Jacksonville kind of won this game this past weekend, you probably looking at those games and saying, that's likely 2 wins, maybe 1-1 with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Then you look at the Houston Texans, and you're definitely thinking that's a win there. The Dallas Cowboys, before Cooper Rush decided that he wanted to play out lights out, I think a lot of people are looking at that game and saying that's probably a win there. So depending on how they kind of turn around in these next 3 games, Tennessee could still turn into the same team we've always known them to be at the end of the season, where they start turning things around and Derrick Henry hits that stride. And now you're going into the playoffs looking like, well, we don't want to play them because they're a team that knows how to play defense and run the ball. And if they can get back to that identity, playing defense and running the ball, Tennessee can just go back to what they've been the past couple of years. Now, like you said, it's a lot harder to do it this year because you had the luxury of A.J. Brown, and the AFC I don't think was as strong as it was in years past. But again, the bonus for them, they're in the AFC South. They can figure it out. They have time. I think the records in the AFC South aren't going to be the greatest in the world. They can somehow sneak in by winning the AFC South. And then from there, the playoffs is a whole different story. We say every year it's a different ball game, and it fits Tennessee's play style and identity.
All right, let's go ahead and move on. We've talked about that game a little too long than we need to. So let's go ahead and move on to the second game of that Monday Night Football slate. Vikings versus Eagles. Of course,
Eagles.
Of course, if you joined us on Sunday, you'll know that we, of course, went split decision on this one. I picked the Vikings to win the game, and Ish went ahead and went with the Eagles. I'll let Ish talk about this game first, and I'll wrap it up.
What needs to be said? What needs to be said?
Well, for the people that didn't watch it, they need you to recap it for them.
Home opener. Honestly speaking, if you watch this game from beginning to end, the Eagles dominated this game. And Captain Space Ranger, Captain Maverick, Captain what's the other names that we call him?
You done?
Whatever else y'all want to call him, Captain Bunny, Captain, whoever, Captain Minnesota, Captain you like that, whoever, whatever you want to refer to him as. He's back to doing Captain.
Don't hurt yourself over there.
He's back to doing Captain backwoods things, okay? Because my man was throwing the ball to who? I don't know. He was throwing it to Darius Slay. That's who he was throwing the ball to, okay? If we're just being honest. My boy James Harden was there taking in the game. He got him a ball because, the Eagles were having a ball. I already predicted it at the beginning of the season, and I was excited to watch this game because it was the first test for the Eagles to see if they could hold up to the pressure I put on them by selecting them as Super Bowl champions this year, and they did it. They've dominated possession. They ran the ball. Jalen Hurts looked amazing. Jalen Hurts, he has taken a step. That, let's be honest, a lot of people thought, oh, he's not the guy.
I agree, Nap.
Eagles. Eagles.
No, please don't.
Look, Noe in the background, she's hyping me up.
Anyways, Christine also says, I'll be polite and just say, fly, Eagles, fly. Stop doubting Jalen Hurts. Fracture Walden also says, Captain America was out there looking like Uncle Rico throwing them balls. Cousin is 2 for 2-10 on Monday night games, and Napoleon's looking around like what's going on. I'll wrap it up quickly. Yes, Kirk Cousins' Monday Night Football record is not a pretty one. I'm not, of course, going to say, hey, was blame it on the record. Something about Kirk Cousins on Monday Night Football. It's just, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is.
I blame Monday Night Football.
Look, I'll say this. Maybe we look
here
back
we
on this
go.
game 12 weeks from now, and both of these teams might be in different directions. Maybe both of these teams are still the top two teams in the NFC. Maybe both of these teams are on the bottom. We don't know. That's why they play the game. But I will say this, though. As a person that doesn't have a horse in this race regarding both of these teams, Jalen Hurts looked amazing. Went 10 for 10 at one point in time to start the game and whatnot. And to be able to lead the Eagles the way that he did on primetime television, I mean, that in itself, I think that, like you said, it just shows the growth from where he was last year to where he is now. And, of course, not just him, the, of course, famous Alabama quarterbacks, Mr. Mac Jones and Tua Tagovailoa. We'll talk about those quarterbacks in a second. Had some major games today, over the past weekend. And, I mean, I like Christine said, I mean, maybe not for Mac Jones, but maybe this game and also for Tua for the Dolphins game might be a game that you might stop doubting. You might stop hating on those quarterbacks and pull back a little bit of the doubt that you have amongst those quarterbacks because they're having a lot of questions. And maybe these are the games that allow them to move forward and they use it as a springboard to get better throughout the rest of the season.
I just want to say real quick, just to address, because I think when I picked the Eagles win the Super Bowl, a lot of people were like, "Oh man, this guy's crazy."
I definitely
talking about all that stuff. I just want to point out.
After 2 weeks, you look good.
I just want to point out 11 rush, 62 yards. Okay, 62 yards for the Vikings. 221 passing yards, 3 turnovers. The reason why I picked the Eagles to win the Super Bowl wasn't just because they play in the NFC least. It wasn't just because of Jalen Hurts. I think this defense made, and I think I made the case, the defense made the right moves in the offseason. They added the right pieces, the right mentality on that defense. And the defense is really what shined for me last night. They showed what they are capable of when they play the best ball. And I'm excited to see them continue to grow throughout the seasons. Of course, they're going to hit their rough patch. They're going to have times. They're going to have lows throughout the season. It's going to be how do they bounce back? How do they continue to move forward? And does Jalen Hurts just keep improving week in and week out? Does he keep improving when it comes time? Because I am excited for this team, the offensive weapons. They've had them for a couple years now. Man, it was fun to see it all come together.
Yeah, especially it was definitely fun for me to watch AJ Brown not play on the Titans on Monday Night Football, and watch him do what I expected him to do, because apparently we have some idiot Titan fans that thought that he wasn't going to show out for the Eagles, and I knew he was going to be what he was going to be. I mean, he's a bad boy.
He and Devonta Smith, man.
Devonta Smith
that's a bad duo there.
He didn't show up though. I mean, not because he didn't show up. He just didn't. He just didn't have a great game.
Wes Watkins, I mean, man, speed demon there.
Every game is going to give an opportunity for these guys to get better at playing amongst each other. So once it's week 14, 15, 16, hopefully all these weapons will come together and they'll be able to be on full cylinders heading into the playoffs. Fraction One says there needs to be a APB out for Cook. I haven't heard his name.
Yeah, put it out there, please. 6 carries, 17 yards. Yeah, put one out there for him.
All right, let me go ahead and get to, of course, one of our segments we have called "If I Was a Betting Man," and we're going to recap some of the betting slips I had for you guys. If y'all want to go ahead and kind of just copy off of what I thought would be some easy money making bets. And I went 1 for 2 this week. I didn't do my 2 for 1 like I did last week, but I'm very proud of this one that I had, and I said the Falcons will cover the spread against the Rams. And at one point in time, I was very worried. The Rams were up by, I think, 20, 21 at one point.
Man, they were up by a lot.
And I was definitely worried. The spread for that game was 10 points. And I was thinking, oh, man, maybe
I almost called you to say, like, bro, you
might go 0 for 3 on this one.
Straight here, sir.
Yeah. So the Falcons fought back hard like I expected them to because they have a little heart. Got a little heart over there. They can't finish games. They can't finish games, but they got a little heart. And I knew they would keep it close. They ended up losing that game just by 5. So, again, if I was the betting man, went ahead, took that cover.
And they covered it.
Make you a little money. Now, this game is I'm very upset. Not because Mike Evans got thrown out of the game.
Oh, my God.
I'm upset with this game because Mike Evans went ahead and had 61 receiving yards before he got ejected.
61.
So as you can see, over under, I went ahead and took the under, and he would be off by just a measly 2.5 yards. So with that being said, welcome to the gambling world where just a measly 2.5 yards will lose you some money. So Mike Evans lost me some money. He also lost himself some money because he's suspended for a game. He will, of course, appeal. We'll see if that appeal gets approved. Honestly, I don't think it does because this is a second-time offense.
And he came in and he totally instigated it. I mean, he wasn't even a part of that, and then came out of nowhere. So
I don't see that one getting.
I don't know that overtime that one.
We'll see what happens. And of course, the other one, which I knew Ish was definitely waiting for this to happen for me to let me know.
I tried to tell you.
He tried to tell me on the show. He tried to tell me on the show, and he was right because apparently the Jaguars want to score all the points in this game, 24, and the Colts didn't want to score anything.
Colts didn't want to take part.
I was waiting for that Colts comeback. I was waiting for just 2 more touchdowns, please, maybe just and it never happened. And
nope.
Yeah, so this one, unfortunately, you might have to rip up your betting slip and be a little upset with your boy X on that one because the Colts did not come to play at all. And we're actually going to segue into that game very shortly after this comment from Fracture Walnut. He says, I thought about X when I saw the score at 28-3. Yeah, I thought about myself too as well on that one, Fracture Walnut.
Yeah.
I thought it was over with, but again, them Falcons, they got heart.
They figured it out at the end.
They did. So, by any means. All right, so let's go ahead and, like I said, segue into some of these games that we'll wrap up on Sunday.
I didn't see that one.
And Fracture One is asking, I keep hearing people talking about Bruce told Evans to go out there.
I didn't see him do that, but
yeah, I mean, I saw the video, but I mean, let's be real. Let's be real. I'm pretty sure Mike Evans probably couldn't even hear Bruce even say that for him to go out and go charge like that. I'm pretty sure Mike Evans did it because
he was frustrated. He saw him talking.
And he don't like Mike. I said it on the show on Sunday. Yeah. I told y'all something was going to happen. I said it on the show on Sunday. Watch out for these two. These two like to scuffle. And
all the time.
We saw it happen once again. I don't know what it's something personal. Somebody did something to somebody, baby mama, or something. I don't know what's going on, but it's something personal between them two. And we're from Texas. We know getting down with ain't no gangsters from Galveston. So let's pump the brakes, everybody. When it comes to people thinking Mike Evans is a gangster, he might be hard on the football field, but I don't know how this will play if they were both off of the football field. I just hope, I just hope bigger things doesn't come out of this. That's all.
Yeah,
it's just the whole situation just unnecessary, and yeah. Fracture One also says Evans Lattimore remind me of Cortland and Andre. It reminded me, to be honest, more of Crabtree and Keith Talib.
Yeah,
that's what it really remind me of. Again, two guys that feel as though it's more personal than anything. All right, so let's go ahead and segue to the ugly game, and we'll talk about this very briefly because nobody probably wants to talk about this too long. The Colts coming in this game was a 3-point favorite, even of course coming off the tie against the Houston Texans. And I think going into this game, if we both picked the Colts, because let's be real, if we were definitely going off of last season and also the hype of Matt Ryan and his new team, and it's the Colts. The Colts are going to find a way to win these divisional games. I mean, there's the Jags, right? The Colts are going to. They have Coach Rich. I mean, they're going to find a way to win this game. Ish, they didn't put up a point. Is it? And I know I talked about this in the beginning of the show. Even though it's already 2 weeks into the season, is it already time to panic in Indy?
You know what? It's funny you asked me that, because I was just about to ask you, is Matt Ryan done? Because I looked at this and I thought, I picked the Colts to win this division, and I picked the Colts to win this game because I thought, if you saw what they were able to do with Carson Wentz last year, you saw what they were able to do with Phillip Rivers the year before. And they've always been a team that they add that veteran quarterback, and it's like the machine just keeps on moving, right? So I'm thinking Matt Ryan wasn't horrible last year with the Falcons. So I'm looking at it now, and I'm looking at some of those results with the Falcons. I'm looking at the Falcons playing this year. I'm looking at what's happening in Indy. Is Matt Ryan done? I mean, I think he might just be the problem here.
Because I'll ask the people, for the people that's tuning in right now, let us know in the comment section. Do you feel like
let us know if you think Matt Ryan's done? Because
I want to hear.
I'm looking at this offense, and I just don't see how you don't score a point. As good as I think this Jacksonville defense is, and they've got like pieces there.
Fracture Wanda says, in my opinion, I think the Colts will bounce back. They had a lot of key players out for them. That's not an excuse.
Yeah, it's not an excuse not to put a point at all. Yeah.
But he also is saying that, hey, they'll bounce back. Lee also says, while some good teams going to miss the AFC playoffs, and the AFC South division winner about to be like 6-11. Relax.
Hey, it could definitely
relax, sir. You're being very disrespectful right now.
Not just 6-11.
Very disrespectful.
You mean 6-10-1?
Anyways, Fracture Water also says the Colts are cursed at QB. Only 3 have been better than good. Yeah, I mean, ever since Manning and the neck injury, I mean, it's been just not good for the Colts. I mean, they felt as though, of course, the bridge quarterback at one point in time, maybe Jacoby Brissett going into, of course, again, besides Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz, and I know I'm missing one
Phillip
more.
Rivers.
Phillip Rivers, my apologies. There, Phillip Rivers. It seems as though that they tried year in and year out to try to just get this veteran quarterback to ride the ship. Last season, let's just be real. I think everybody kind of felt as though that Carson Wentz wasn't as good as people think he is, and this isn't going to work out. We saw it didn't work out. They had an opportunity for it to work out at the end of the season, but all they had to do was beat the Jags. The Jags bite them in the butt again. Just a tidbit as well. Apparently, the Jags, and this is dating back obviously for the last 8 seasons, the Jags are 8-0 against the Colts at home. That is an amazing stat. Of course, and I'm just bringing this up because of last season. The Jags, of course, were at home. The Colts, all they had to do was beat them at home, and they could have had a chance to be in the playoffs. But for this matchup, it's wild-ish. Like, I don't understand how the Colts tripped up on this, or I should say have been tripping up against the Jaguars in Jacksonville. It feels as though kind of like when the Patriots come down to Miami and they usually lose that game. But for the most part, it's early in the season. The Jaguars are, of course, the division leaders. Will this stay the same by week 10, week 14? We have a lot of football to play, but right now, I know a lot of people would never know. When a lot of people have not expected the Jaguars to be division leaders after 2 weeks. So,
not at all. Not at all.
That's funny. So we'll see what happens with that. All right. The other game, of course, we talked about when it comes to if I was a betting man, Buccaneers Saints. We'll talk about this very briefly, and we'll move on. Both of us picked the Saints to win this game. Or did you? My bad. Did you pick the Bucs?
Nah, I picked the
Okay,
Saints.
my bad. We both picked the Saints to win this game, and of course, the main reason why I picked this game was because I believed in the quarterback the same way I believed in Captain America, and both these guys let me down on Sunday. I had a lot of letdown. Let everybody know, hey, my team
Yeah,
let
I'm
me
tired
down.
of listening to you with
My
this
fan football team
Jameis
let me
Winston.
down. Both my quarterbacks let me down. That everybody disrespect. Everybody let me down. It was
I'm
just
tired of
a
listening
bad
to you
weekend
with
of
the
football.
Jameis
My
Winston
pick'ems was
nonsense.
horrible. Just wasn't a good look. Okay,
Yeah, it wasn't a good
and,
week for you and your.
and Thomas Brady did what he
Bulls.
does usually against the Saints, and well, I should say in the regular season, it's finally beats them. But besides that, he of course sicked Mike Evans on Marcus Lattimore. He also threw a tablet once again and
Yep,
broke a
through
tablet,
a tablet.
and out of nowhere, he was able to do what Tom Brady does best, and that's win games.
Well, it was a good defensive battle, for the most part, and then Tom Brady was just able to find a way at the end of the game to just kind of pull it out. 17 points in the fourth quarter. But the bigger thing for me, 3 interceptions from your guy, Mr. Jameis, and now they're coming out and saying my man's playing through injuries and pain and all that.
Yes, of
Listen
course.
here,
He had
listen here. I don't want to hear that nonsense.
vertebrae before the game.
I don't want to. I don't want to hear that nonsense, bro. Miss me with that. This guy, he need to go back to whatever eye doctor performed the surgery for him and sue that fool, because it's still not working. Okay, it's still not working. Here we go again with Jameis Winston throwing the ball to all sorts of people that don't wear the same jersey as him. I'm tired of. I don't even want to pick them anymore. As long as he's starting again, I don't want to pick them. I should have picked the Bucks to win. I should have picked the Bucks to win this division. I listen to you. I allow you
again. Here you go. Everybody being over dramatic and being and overreacting after 2 weeks of football.
Nope. I'm gonna hit you with the Dennis Allen. He is who we thought he was. Okay, he is exactly who we thought he was.
That's Dennis Green, not Dylan.
Dennis Green. My bad, Dennis Green.
You're fine. My point is that it's only 2 weeks of the season. Let's continue to play it out, and we'll see what happens. But yes, the Buccaneers was able to grab a road divisional victory and steal that one. So the Saints are going to have to go on the road and get the one in Tampa Bay to even it out. But right now, yes, if the season was to stop, Buccaneers, of course, would be that leader over there. But I think the Saints are fine. But
it's not about to get easier.
It's not, but they're going to have to figure out who they are real soon. But I will say, shout out to Chris Olave though. Again, for a guy that's a rookie coming in there and
he looks good
already. He's a guy to look out for too when it comes to Rookie of the Year. I think he'll be somebody to that'll be a dark horse in that race. Lee also says I've never seen a wide receiver open deep as much as Olave this game. He got to be so hurt. Dude is different. And of course, he's literally. I mean, I was saying the Olave stuff right when he was topped it in. So we're all on the same page regarding at least Chris Olave. I think the Saints will be fine. I think the Bucks will get even better. I'm honestly worried. I'm worried about the Bucks because we know when it comes to a Tom Brady team, it only gets better with time. And who knows? Maybe Tom Brady for one more time might be in the big game. And again, I'm an idiot for doubting him once again. So. Let Tom Brady get the Super Bowl one more time. It's just not going to be. It's not fair. It's not fair. All right, let's get to a game that was very, very exciting to watch. A game that, let's be real, a game that the Ravens probably should have won. Ended up not winning, but. Overall, I'll throw it to you. Who won this game? Or say, not that's a stupid question. Not who won this game. What is the outcome of this game for both teams? Do you look at this for the Dolphins as we won this game, or did the Ravens lose this game?
You can't look at this game and say anything other than the Miami Dolphins won this game. I don't think the Ravens lost this game. I think that they put even because if you even look at the last couple minutes, the last 2 drives of the game. They went down, the Ravens go down, they kick a 51-yard field goal, they go up 38-35. You leave just under the 2-minute warning, about 2 minutes to go for the Dolphins to have to drive down the field and go score. And not only do they go down and score points, they don't kick the field goal to go to overtime. They go down and they score a touchdown. And Tua led them on that drive. And you just have to look at what the Dolphins were able to do in the fourth quarter. I mean, they go out and they score 28 points in the fourth quarter. That is not something by any means. If you watch the game, they weren't given those 28 points. You got to look at how they scored. 48-yard pass from Tua to Tyreek Hill, a 60-yard pass from Tua to Tyreek Hill. Then they drove all the way down the field on the last drive, and it's a 7-yard pass from Tua to Jalen Waddle. I think that Miami showed something in this game that they have been missing for the past couple of years. And you got to look at Miami now and say, is Buffalo going to run away with this division? As good as Buffalo has looked, the one thing we will say about Miami is they play with an edge. They have a defense that likes to play with an edge. And I'm interested to see that matchup this year. I want to see it. I want to see if the beatdowns continue before I just, grant Buffalo this runaway, because these two teams are undefeated. And if we're looking at it, Buffalo next week, that's going to be a fun one.
Oh, yeah. Both of these teams, Buffalo and Dolphins play against each other.
Buffalo in Miami.
In Miami. That is a 12 o'clock, of course, kickoff if you're in the Central Time Zone. That is the game-ish that I feel as though that's the one you're marking on your calendar for both teams as a measuring stick.
Yep.
We're gonna see really, how good both of these teams are real quick.
We're gonna see where you at.
Again, I know the Dolphins remember the 50-point beatdowns that the Bills landed them last year. I know that the Bills, know how good the Dolphins are. What they just did this past season, this past weekend, but the Bills also know that, hey, we are a freight train. We're trying to win a Super Bowl. We don't care who you are. We don't care who's in front of us right now, and we're going to run you over. So, hey, that might be, and I'm looking at the schedule right now. Monday Night Football, we have Cowboys, Giants, which with Dak, it probably been better. Without Dak, is like,
Even with Dak, I don't want to watch that, man. Even with Danny Dimes in the game, I don't want to watch it.
Well, there you go. That's on you. Saturday Night Football, we have 49ers, Broncos, which, again, can be – and Thursday Night Football, we have Steelers, Browns. Again, just looking at the slate, I mean, that
not the way the Steelers played this last week. This is terrible.
If that's how you feel, that's what I'm saying.
It is terrible.
The Bills-Dolphins game probably could be the best game, other than maybe the Packers and Buccaneers. Because of course, Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady.
I'm tired of those old guys, but sure.
But that's what I'm saying. So if you want to see some new young blood, that's the game to look out for. I think the Dolphins. I think that's the game that the Dolphins as a team wanted the rest of the world to be able to see from Tua, so everybody can shut up about trying to ask about, was Tua the guy? Yeah, I believe in Tua. This, that, and third about Tua. They believed in him. I think a lot of the people that don't look at the Dolphins like that probably call those people crazy or just call them just supporters because you have to support the quarterback. Mm-hmm. But I feel like with this game, the least it can do is give you, as in Tua, a video clip to show you how good you can be.
It gave him a little bit of breathing room, I think. A little bit of leeway where people can look at it and say, okay.
So let's go out and keep doing this. And the great thing about him playing that, not just that position, but the teammates that he have around him, it seems as though they genuinely like him. It seems as though they genuinely support him. Offensive side, defensive side, the head coach, the front office, everybody supports you. When that happens, great things can come out of that. And I'm excited for next next week.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be
That
big.
game is
I can't
going to be
wait.
the one. I'm telling you right now, we're going to do that
I
Sunday
might have to
show.
do
We're
a
going to do
free
that Sunday
trial
show.
of
I'm going to tell you
NFL
right now,
Plus.
I'm getting off. I'm getting off. Leave me alone. I'm going to watch that game. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I might have to do a free trial of NFL Plus or something.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about very quickly about this. We just summed it up when it comes to the weird Sunday regarding teams that probably should have won games, were favored, and just didn't end up winning the game. Bengals were a 7-point favorite. Cowboys, of course, won this game by 3 without Dak Prescott as well, too. Of course, I'm not going to be the one that's going to overreact and say, do the Cowboys need Dak anymore? I'm not going to do that. What I will say is this is more of an indictment on the Cincinnati Bengals.
It is.
Starting off the season 0-2. And you seem as though you got better in the offseason, especially on the offensive line. But Joe Burrow is still on the ground. And after 2 weeks, you don't look like the cardiac cats that people watched and loved last season. I never expected for them to repeat it instantaneously right off the get-go, but at least have a couple of plays where it looks like you have a couple of sparks here and there. The Bengals just do not seem as though that they have it right now. Again, early in the season, a lot of things can change, but they probably should have won a game last week against the Steelers. And with this game, this was a game that you were already favored in, even though it was a away game without their star quarterback, $100 million quarterback, and you didn't close the deal and take an opportunity to win a game on the road. So with that being said, again, I'm more worried about the Bengals than I am with the Cowboys. I don't think the Cowboys, I'm sorry, I think the Eagles win that division. You might get a wild card. But with the Bengals, they had high expectations the upcoming season. They wanted to prove to a lot of people that the run last season wasn't a fluke and that they are here to stay. With them being an 0-2 team, especially with the division that they're in, especially with the conference that they are in, is it too early to panic to say that they might not make the playoffs, or are they fine? This is just a bumpy road and they can get over it and maybe make at least a wild card?
It may be early to panic, but definitely the alarm bells should be maybe just a little bit ringing, just a little bit. And I say that only because of the manner in which they're losing. That offensive line, 6 sacks, it just doesn't look good. All the additions they made to the offensive line, that was supposed to be the bright shining star of the offseason for the Bengals, is that offensive line and the improvements they made to that offensive line, and how that offensive line was going to make things so much better for Joe Burrow, and how he was going to have all the time in the world to throw to his weapons, and Jamar Chase. Oh, it's only going to get better.
Remember they picked up a lineman from the Cowboys, Liddell Collins. You get a lineman from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, of course, was protecting Tom Brady, Mr. Alex Kappa, and you again supposed to have made the line better, like you're saying, Ish, and you're in the same exact spot as you was last year.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
they were talking about
worse.
They were talking about this on sports shows, and you have to agree with this when it comes to if Joe Burrow continues to stay on the ground, he might not get past 30. Andrew Luck retired at 29.
Yep.
Because he was on the ground too much. David Carr. Of course, Derek Carr's older brother didn't make it past 30 because of him being on the ground as well, too. I like Joe Burrow. I want him to play for a very long time. But if he is not able to stand upright, I don't know if he makes it past 29-ish. Lee says this is what happens when zero starters play in the preseason. Through this whole new line to the Wolves, going to need at least till midseason to find some legit chemistry. Fracture One also says 3 out of 10 on pressing the panic button for the Bengals. So it seems though, we're all in agreement when it comes to it's kind of early. Let some things play out for this at least this team, the Bengals. We'll see what happens with them midway, but they have to. They're gonna have to figure some things out real
They
quick
need a
as
sense
well.
of
Too.
urgency in Cincinnati, though. They need a
That's all
sense
I'm
of
saying.
urgency.
They play the Jets. They play the Jets this upcoming week, so that's
As
a
we've seen,
perfect
that's
game.
no easy win.
But that's a perfect game for you to get your stuff back right. Even though it's a away game, you've got to find a way to dig deep and pull this game out. Yes, the Jets were able, of course, to win their game in thrilling fashion. But again, if you're the Bengals and you're trying to run it back, this is the game where you can start it off with and improve from there. This game was Patriots Steelers. This was a very interesting game. Again, if you're a betting person, again, Patriots 3-point favorite. They win by 3. Steelers were for the most part control of the game until the second half. Mitch Trubisky, and again, another quarterback that has a bad history of being bad. Apparently, it showed up again on Sunday with Mitch Trubisky. And I'll just go ahead and get straight to the point to everybody that's tuning in. When is it time to go ahead and move on to Kenny Pickett? I think it's too early. That's what I was going to say. I think it's too early right now, but any more performances like that from Mitch, there are going to be some people that's going to be calling for his head, especially, again, when you have a guy like Kenny Pickett that has looked very well and continuing to look, better and better throughout camp and also throughout the season now. So the Patriots, they came off of course, their loss last week. We expected them to play better this week, which they did. Able to get a win on the road. A very Belichickian type of game. Run the ball, play defense, make the throws you need to make. Don't give up the game. And that's what the Patriots were able to do, get out of this game with a win. But overall, I feel like it was just a game that the Steelers, I think, let slip away. This is a game I think the Steelers could have won. But the Patriots came in there and did what they usually do. Ish.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much I want to say about this game. It was a typical boring Patriots win.
Fracture One that says, Ish, don't get the NFL Plus, can only watch 2 games and listen to the rest. Ugh.
No, that sounds horrible.
That's booty. That's booty. All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up with a couple more games before we get up out of here tonight. I know Ish wants to talk about this game, so I'll let him start it off. Seahawks 49ers.
Whew. First of all, I'm going to start off by saying we don't wish injuries upon anyone. We definitely hope for a speedy recovery for Trey Lance. However, I will follow that up immediately by saying the number 1 quarterback has returned, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, the number 1 quarterback is back at the helm. I will like to say that unofficially, my pick was switched as soon as Trey Lance got hurt from the Seattle Seahawks to the 49ers.
It's not how that works. Not how that works.
It's definitely how it works.
No, it's not
how it works. Because had I known that Jimmy Garoppolo was playing, I was going to pick the 49ers anyway. So it's definitely going to switch. It's going to work that way now. Okay?
No, you're taking
That's
your
how it works.
No.
That's how it works for me. I'm definitely going to say that I picked the 49ers
Whatever.
because Jimmy G, if he was starting, I definitely was going to pick the 49ers. I'm happy to see Jimmy G in there under center. And yes, can't wait to see what the 49ers are able to accomplish this season now that Jimmy G has taken the helm. And hopefully the 49ers realize what they have now.
As you can see, our boy Lee says he got the hookup for us. He'll hit us up offline tomorrow about the games. We'll talk about that later on. We appreciate that, of course, as always. I always picked the Niners. I was expecting them, no matter if it was Jimmy G, Colin Kaepernick, Steve Young, Joe Montana, or even X Williams back there playing quarterback. The Niners were going to beat the Seahawks. I wasn't worried about that. Shout out to, of course, Fracture Wana. He says, porn star Jimmy is back, baby. Now time to stick it to the Niners. Again, if you watched a little bit of that game, I don't know about you, Ish, but it looked like the offense was very excited to have Jimmy G in the backfield once again. I'm
just saying.
And maybe we can see this offense get back to what it needs to be with Debo toting that thing and Jimmy G out there making those sound throws. One thing I will say regarding the quarterbacks I talked about this past Sunday who's played horrible, who I've tried to hype up. This was one quarterback that did not let me down because he does not. And I tell people all the time, I will take Jimmy G over Ryan Tannehill any day of the week. And he proved it once again. We all know, look, the Seahawks aren't a team to really look out for this upcoming season. We got that. But it just goes to show you that the 49ers might have top 3, if not maybe number 1 when it comes to front office and head coach being on the same page on what they're doing regarding players, money, future. I'm honestly loving what the 49ers are doing because all the hoopla that everybody talking about, oh, well, don't re-sign Jimmy G. What about the locker room? And what about this? And da-da-da-da-da. Like it said, look, we don't waste on nobody. But this is something that we've talked about. It's something that organizations plan for just in case. What happens if so-and-so goes down? What is the backup plan? And for them to have this backup plan regarding having Jimmy G available, it works in their favor, and they don't have to worry about saying, damn, we have to scrap this season and get ready for next season. So that is the difference between, I think, to me, and this NFL nowadays. And look, KC laughed at this, and other people can laugh at it all you want to. But if you have 2 quarterbacks, it's a lot better nowadays than it ever has been before when it comes to 2 quarterbacks is better than having just one damn good quarterback and having a backup quarterback that is just completely trash. We've seen it with the Kansas City Chiefs, right? We saw where Chad Henne came in and was able to win a game for Patrick Mahomes. Again, it happens. I know it happened with Russell Wilson at one point in time. It happens more often than you think. And if you're able to have 2 good quarterbacks, it allows you to pick up where you left off, plug and play, and keep on moving. All right, so let's go ahead and finish it up with this last game that we have for tonight. And that is, of course, the Cardinals and Raiders.
No. Hold on.
Oh, my apologies. Do you want to talk about the Texans Broncos?
I wanted to talk about the Texans real quick.
Just second to last game. My bad. Second to last game, and then we'll get to the last game. Texans.
Let me just say this. I want to start it off by saying this. Whoever hired this guy in Denver, you need to reevaluate. Okay, he needs to be let go today, tomorrow, whenever. We need to let go of him because clearly he got his coaching license from Madden, okay? And even in Madden, he probably lost a lot of games because this man ran out of timeouts. Shoot, was it the third quarter when they ran out of timeouts? They ran out of timeouts really early, okay? And then the bozo Texans just went ahead and somehow found a way to allow them to win this game. They did not win this game. For all I'm concerned, for all that I know, Denver did not win this game. Okay, they won on stats and on paper, but they didn't actually win the game. Because if you watch the game, they should have lost that game. Everything was there for them to lose that game, and the Texans found a way to be bad and just lose yet again. Let me say this about Davis Mills. Davis Mills. Bye-bye. You gone. You had a chance. You had an opportunity. It's only week 2 and you've already lost the starting job. You lost it. It's done. Over. Enjoy this year because you're not starting again. You're done. You're out of here. Bye. I don't know if you're leaving the Texans or if you're just going to ride the bench moving forward, but something must be done with you because you had an opportunity to win this game. This was your game for the taking. And some of the throws that you made in crunch time, goodness, it wasn't even bad is an understatement. Okay, whoever was excited about Davis Mills, all the trash they try to feed to the Houston fan base that will listen to anything and all this undefeated during the preseason. Oh, goodness gracious. That was a debacle. Okay.
All right, that one was the funniest one to me. When everybody was hyped about being 3-0 in the preseason, that was hilarious. But that's here nor there. No, I agree. Honestly, this game isn't even really about the Texans. I agree with you when it comes to the the Broncos head coach, Nathaniel Hackett. With a
gosh,
name like Hackett, I'm gonna need you to hack it on out of there, sir, because I'm gonna be completely honest with you, Ish. He'll most likely get through this year, but he'll probably get replaced.
bro, it's amateur hour. It's
I
bad.
mean, I don't know if Russell is probably over here thinking like, what the fuck did I get myself into? But like, coach, what are you doing, bro?
You know what it reminded me of?
Good look. Please don't tell me.
Remember Anthony Lynn when he was in with the Chargers, and we kept talking about how he was like messing up at the end of the games, and we were like, dude, you're gonna lose your job if you keep making these silly mistakes like this, right? This is worse than that. Like Anthony Lynn was making some mistakes, but this is like 10 times worse than that. Like some of the play calls, horrible. The timeout situations, you didn't have a returner one time and you had to call a timeout. Like, bro, you couldn't even get enough people on the field for a special. Oh my god, nah, man.
Texas 6A football don't even do that.
They don't even do that. Shoot, 6A. Damn, the 6-man don't even do that.
Fracture One that says time to play Kyle Allen for the rest of the season. Mills is ultra boo-boo.
No, they should have went out and got someone instead of just all the garbage they fed everyone about Davis Mills and why they weren't going to go get a veteran quarterback to bring in, and look what it's done.
They had somebody, Tyrod Taylor.
Well, they let him go.
That's what the Texans do best. You know how that goes.
But okay, now we can talk about the other game. I just wanted to trash the Texans.
No, you're fine. You're fine. We needed to make sure we talked about Fracture One.
Yeah,
because that's our boy. He be on here supporting. If you're an AFC South fan team, or sorry, if your team is in the AFC South and you're a fan of any of those teams, it might be a very depressing year for almost all of us. Okay, it's not going to be a good look. Fracture One is tanking for Young. I don't think Bryce Young will be.
I don't know that you want Bryce Young.
I don't think they'll save the franchise, but hey, if that's what y'all want, all of a sudden, of course, Alabama quarterbacks are on fire now. So I guess Bryce Young is.
Well, look at Tua. So he changed
the narrative.
He changed the narrative for everyone.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up tonight. When it comes to this crazy game, I think this is the best game to wrap up this weekend. It was a crazy weekend. This was a crazy game. This was a game the Raiders had.
The Raiders going Raiders.
Yeah, pretty much. The Raiders had in hand, being up by double digits in the fourth. The Cardinals come back, send it into overtime, and end up winning the game on a scoop and score, a fumble recovery. End up winning the game 29-23 ish. We both picked the Raiders, mainly because, of course, with the Cardinals, certain players were out for that team. And to be completely honest, I just didn't expect Kyler Murray to be able to pull out a victory against a very good Raiders team who I was expecting to bounce back from their week 1 loss. Overall, Ish, give me your thoughts on this game.
The Raiders are going to Raiders. All the hype about Devontae Adams being in Las Vegas, I'm sure that's all cooled down now. This is one of the reasons why I didn't pick the Raiders to make the playoffs. I mean, if you watch the show at the beginning of the season when we did our predictions, I had 3 teams from the AFC West, and the other team was the Broncos because I just knew the Raiders were going to find a way to do Raiders things. And I mean, it's worked out for them in the past couple of years, but this year there was just something about it that made me feel like it's just not going to happen. And sure enough, the end of that game was just, it was fun to watch as a neutral fan. If I'm a Raiders fan though, that was horrible. It was, I mean, to watch the play, the touchdown to send it to overtime and the 2-point conversion, and having Kyler Murray just run around forever back
Like
there,
a bad little toddler that he is.
that you just can't catch. Just crazy, man. And in the end with the scoop and score, and then him almost fumbling the ball over the goal line. Just, yeah.
There's a lot going on, as you can see if you didn't watch the game. Fracture Wanda talking about,
Yeah.
of course, fans in the stands out here popping bottles in the first half. He also asked what's worse, 28-3 Falcons or the Champagne Raiders. Definitely got to be the Falcons. Unfortunately, you did it on the biggest stage possible. So unfortunately, until somebody else messes it up, Falcons will be that benchmark of taking L's. The Champagne Raiders, at least they have Super Bowls to at least fall back on and say we won something. That whole Vegas Raider thing, that's a whole spectacle. That's a show. That's not real Raider fans. Those are just people that want to just be in the limelight for a little bit. But overall, I mean, we had 3 games of teams losing double-digit leads, mainly in the fourth quarter. Of course, we had the Ravens lose a 21-point lead in the fourth quarter. And, of course, this was one of the games where a team had a double-digit lead and lost it. And I just think that just what played out on this past weekend of football was just I know, of course, the saying any given Sunday, but it was for real any given Sunday except for the Tennessee Titans when it comes to upsetting teams or pulling out miraculous victories. And that was one of them in Vegas. The Cardinals, again, we know that they start off well in the beginning of the season. We've never expected the Cardinals to not start off well. Our problem with the Cardinals, and we all know about the Cardinals, is can they do it in the second half? Can they finish off the season? That's really what it's about. And we'll see what happens with them. We'll wrap it up tonight with this, though. We didn't talk about this game mainly because, let's be real, it's kind of ugly. Jets and Browns, hell of a finish. Just 2 ugly teams. Fresh one that says, how about that Flacco magic ish? Because Flacco was balling. And at the moment, go ahead and look at the stats. At the moment, Flacco is number 3 in passing yardage in the NFL. So go ahead and check out Flacco. Again, I know it's just 2 weeks. And again, and 4 weeks, everything is not going to be the same. Flacco won't be top 3. Some of these running backs won't be top 3. Some of these teams won't be who they are. So long, short season. We'll check back in with you guys. Of course, every week here on X Talking Ish, things are going to change. Things are going to be not the same. But one thing will remain the same is that the Titans will find a way to lose a game in prime time like Kirk Cousins. So with that being said, I'm going to go and console myself and hopefully pat down my tears, and hopefully the Titans can play a little bit better these upcoming weeks. And we will see y'all on Sunday for, of course, our weekly football preview show on Sunday at 10 o'clock Central Time and 11 o'clock Eastern Time. And we will preview, of course, week 3 of the NFL season. And we'll go from there. What's up, Ish?
I only got one thing to say before we head out.
The EAGL, yes, Eagles.
You already know. EAGLES, Eagles! And we can wrap it on that.
Anyways, all right, guys. We will see y'all on Sunday. Hopefully, Ish drink some water and calm down because he does not need to be this hype this late in the night. All right. We'll see y'all next week. X Talking Ish. Thank you.